So that's my sister-in-law, Lindsay.
Oh yeah, I think I met her at your cousin Jack's wedding, right?
Yeah, that's her. She actually asked about you the other day, you know, like if you wanted to join us for a New Year's Eve dinner.
Are all your nieces and nephews gonna be there? Because I think I still owe little Jane a birthday gift.
Oh yeah, they're definitely gonna all be there waiting for you. Hi beautiful souls, it's Tad here today with your Venus synastry video, and today we're doing Venus in the 4th house. So I have made an introduction video to synastry. You can click the links up above and in the description box below to kind of know what each of the houses are doing in your chart, to get a better understanding of what Venus then does in the synastry houses in the chart. So Venus is that part of someone that wants to bring love and beauty and harmony and commitment and art and music and all those wonderful things into another person's area of their life. So that would be the house that Venus falls into. So the 4th house, if you watch the synastry video, is like that family dinner at the table. So what happens when Venus comes here? Now this is actually another pretty tricky placement, because you know this this 4th house is an angular house, and therefore it is a very sensitive, one of the most sensitive houses in your natal chart. So when Venus comes in here, you can kind of think of it like Venus in Cancer a little bit, because you know the 4th house is ruled by Cancer and the moon. This can go either really good or really bad, depending on other things in the chart and depending on, mostly, how secure the Venus person themselves are. Because Venus is coming into the core, the most vulnerable part of another person. And if both the house and the Venus person are not really secure within themselves, you know, commitment can actually be hard with this placement. So let's talk about the positives first. So with this placement, there can be a familiar feeling between the two people, because this is the house of family, the 4th house, of family and roots and inner characteristics of someone. So Venus is bringing a sense of comfort, a sense of feeling like the two people are families. So because Venus is a soothing planet, Venus can soothe the home life, the family life, and the feeling of comfort and family, right? They can make those feelings nice and pleasant and harmonious for the house person. So yes, on the plus side, there's going to be little to argue or disagree with when it comes to, you know, things, activities in the home, how to have a harmonious atmosphere at home, you know, what to eat and what to do for both people to feel comfortable. So an example of this would be that I actually have this with a friend of mine. Her Venus is in Virgo and it's in my 4th house. So this is really funny. So what happens is, when we went to university together, me and this friend, she was the one friend that I would always, a lot of the times, go to for like a sleepover. It was always at her house because I just love her house, you know, like the decorations and everything. It just felt so cozy. But more importantly, she was really welcoming for me mainly, and she was always kind of just inviting me over, I was good company in the home for her, you know. So, and then this is what happened. The first time she ever came to my house, she walked straight into my bedroom and she's like, "Oh, that's your bed," and she jumps on the bed and falls asleep immediately. Like, it was just so comfortable for her. So this is kind of what can happen with Venus going to another person's 4th house. It's actually pretty great for friendship, you know. Yeah, and it was kind of like we had the same, and you know, she still does it now. I once like traveled somewhere and then I rented an Airbnb, and then she was also in that city, so she came over into my Airbnb apartment, jumped into the bed, and was like, "Oh, can I just like sleep here for an hour before we go out?" It was like just that comfortable. We love the same kind of, comfortable things at home. Like we watch the same kind of series. And we just love doing that kind of thing together. So it was really nice. And also with this, the house person's kind of like mother or female relatives, like their sisters or mother, if they have any, usually kind of really likes the house person, because the house person has qualities characteristics that's usually very similar to the house person's female family member or relative. So they kind of get along pretty well. Okay, now when it comes to the more negative aspects of this Venus placement, if you think about Venus in Cancer, of course, if the Venus person isn't really secure within themselves, they can act a little bit defensively. They can be a little bit self-protective. So the Venus person might not really open up fully, and the house person can kind of feel like the Venus person is being passive aggressive or like being a little bit clingy or needy, and it's almost like the house person feels like in order for the Venus person to open up, the Venus person has to be in a really safe environment, and sometimes the house person might not feel like they could provide that for the Venus person, so it kind of depends here. Yet both people are gonna kind of feel something very deep and intense towards each other, because the 4th house is a very deep and intense house. The house person, when the Venus person is being a bit self-protective, the house person might actually feel like there's a hidden motive behind the Venus person's actions. They can be kind of reluctant to engage with the Venus person fully. So yeah, there can be kind of like this push and pull, going back and forth, a bit of a passive aggressiveness theme to the relationship. But it really all depends on how secure both of the people are within themselves. So that's my take on Venus in Partner's 4th house. If you have this placement, then leave a comment below. Let us know what your experiences have been. Any questions, comment below. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and hit subscribe to come along with us for more astrology, growth journeys, learning and growing together. If you've already subscribed, then thank you very much for always coming along and catching up on our astrology journeys. Thanks guys, have a beautiful day. Bye.